talk about deloading for this one. So the way I like to structure my deloads is not necessarily, I don't do them as a set group of weeks. I don't say, oh, every 8 weeks I'm going to do a deload, right? I like to be adaptable. So if after 6 weeks I notice not just a transient drop in my performance, so say I go to the gym and one of my lifts is down, but for some reason I didn't get good sleep last night, right? There could be plenty of reasons why you have just a transient, like, bad day at the gym. Doesn't mean you necessarily need to put in a whole deload cycle. So what I would do is you just go through your training block. We can talk about how to structure that in another video, but so you go through your training block and then you start to notice, like, okay, stagnation in most of my lifts, stuff is going down. It's not just a transient spike in one exercise or something like that. Then you're going to want to implement a deload. And some people like to just completely stop training for a whole week. I don't really like to do that. I like to do some active recovery stuff. So whether that be, I like to, so I'll just bring the volume down or the weight down depending on, so I'll do this in 2 steps. Since I'm on a 6-day training cycle of legs push pull, this works out well, so I can do 2 reductions in volume. So the first one, you can just drop the weight by half, so half the weight on all your lifts, and you want to keep the reps and the sets the same, so that you're not trying to train to that same RPE, right? Because you're deloading. And then for that second half of the week, drop the weight down to half, and then also half the reps or the sets. And you can play with these. You can also start your deload with the full reduction if you want. If you like this more, personally, that's not how I personally do it, but that's, you can mess around with all this stuff and see what you feel like recovers you the best. And then, that's pretty much all there is.